The middle market business, now we've talked about this before, they're basically companies that have revenue from $10 million to around $1 billion. You know, only about 3% of businesses are middle market, yet a third of private sector employees work for these companies. Turns out conditions are pretty good right now for a lot of these companies to change hands. Let's talk with Patrick Pollard. He runs the Chicago office of the private investment banking firm Allegiance Capital Corporation. Why do you expect sales, Pat, of middle market companies to, what's been happening, but to really take off?
They continue to take off, but I think the most important point is that the values at which these companies are trading at are at historic levels. That corresponds with very high stock market levels. You hear records being broken every day in the Dow and the NASDAQ and the S&P. That translates into the value of private businesses. And the fact is, there are more buyers than there are sellers. And we all know that Econ 101 tells us that when demand is greater than supply, prices go up.
And that's probably really jacked up because of those high valuations.
Absolutely. The fact is that you have corporate buyers who have trillions of dollars of cash and either have to return it to investors through dividends or through making acquisitions that grow the business. You also have the entire tranche of private equity investors who are basically investing other people's money for high returns.
Huge pool of that money as well.
$1 trillion looking for a home. And frankly, that money ultimately has to go back to its investors if it hasn't been invested within a certain period of time.
So they're looking for opportunities.
Absolutely.
Are there bidding wars actually taking place?
Absolutely. Valuations are extremely high. At the high end of the middle market, you are looking at double-digit valuations of cash flow. At the lower end of the middle market, where there often aren't even buyers, in this environment we're seeing all kinds of buyers and at much higher multiples.
So we got this perfect storm condition right now. I can't believe that's just going to go on indefinitely. I mean, rates are going to be going up.
Absolutely, and you're exactly right. One of the main ingredients of the perfect storm is the very low interest rate environment that we're in, and the fact that investors need to have higher returns than the lower risk assets are providing. But as you know, interest rates will go up. What goes up must come down and vice versa. And when it does, we think that the window will begin to close. But right now the window is wide open, and it's really a great time to be a seller if you're an owner of a middle market business.
Patrick Pollard, thanks so much.
You're welcome. Thanks, Bill.